So I've been talking about sort of barriers that come up between people with profound and multiple learning disabilities and people without profound and multiple learning disabilities when we're looking to make that connection, or we're hoping that someone will make that connection. And my brain was sort of pondering it whilst I'm watching the bad television, and it kept coming back round to the same example, and you think, well, that's an example that's to do with this. So the example is, and I have multiple versions of this. So like I was in a setting and they were making Christmas cards for Christmas, and one member of staff voiced to me that she didn't think the cards were very good quality, and she thought that the young people should be supported to make something that would look nice on their parents' mantelpiece. Or I've worked with some gorgeous charities that do art with people with complex needs, and they've sort of said, or sometimes when the people who support them come in, they turn their noses up a bit at what we're doing because they don't think it's like proper art type of thing. Or I had somebody who was really invested in the person that they supported. They really cared an enormous amount about this person, and when they went to one of these like art workshops, they didn't feel like they were given proper art to do. And the response that you will hear is that you have to remember it's process, not product, which is absolutely true. That's completely the end point. But just saying that to somebody doesn't necessarily make the penny drop. And that's not that person's fault. Like, if you think about how we are conditioned through life to measure achievement as tangible things, like I'm watching my children in swimming lessons. They swam 10 meters, they swam 20 meters, they did a thing. You know, you learn to count to 10, you learn to count to 20, you did a thing. You build a tower, you build the tower higher, you made a thing. We are constantly through our lives focused on product, rewarded for product or achievement, you know, that sort of thing. So if you're imagining this person who's saying, I don't think this isn't real art they're doing, I don't see why, like, this is a waste of time, they're not actually doing anything, they're just sort of moving around in paint, it's not going to look nice on a mantelpiece. They're not, like, everything in their life so far has told them that it's about what you achieve, what you do, what you make, how much money you earn. The whole of our culture is set up around valuing objects and things and money and measuring achievements and all of this. And you're asking somebody to go, you know, all of that upbringing you've had, all of that cultural conditioning that you've had, just forget that, because we're just going to be in this moment. It's just the process. It's just the journey, man. Don't worry about the destination. It's a massive, massive thing you're asking of people. But that is what you have to ask. And so what's the answer, Joe? I wonder if you could find, you know, have a chat with them and see if you could spot a place in their life where they enjoy the process over the product. You know, maybe you ask them, do they ever sing in the shower? Or do they ever dance in the kitchen? Those things that we do unseen that aren't, like, we know that we're not sounding lovely in the shower, but nobody can hear us, so it doesn't matter. And we know that our kitchen dancing isn't going to attract a mate from across the dance floor, but we dance because we enjoy moving to the music. Maybe you could find those points in their life and say, like, it's a bit like that. This is dancing in the dark. This is singing in the shower. This is this person's version of doing those things. And sometimes Because if you're being asked to support, say that Christmas card situation, the person who voiced the complaints to me, her role in that Christmas card session was to support the person to do something that she considered was a not doing. Like, they're not doing anything. What am I, like, what's the point in me moving their hands around to help them to move their hands around when they're not actually making a picture? It's just, they're just making a mess. So sometimes moving the supporter role to an alongside role, to a, why don't you push your hands through this paint? How does it feel when you push your hands through this paint? Does it feel different if you do it in a different way? If you could tap into their experience of it, like if they could have the experience, then maybe they'd recognize the experience being had by somebody else. That might be a good one. But there's probably other ones as well. But just the process, not product thing. It's like all of these things. It's just a lot more complicated than it can seem at first if you understand it from the start. And that conditioning is so ingrained in all of us, which again is why there's so much value, to that person who doesn't get it immediately. They're not it's not only do they not get it in this situation, they're not getting it in other situations as well. How much their life could benefit from getting it, like how much they have to gain from exploring the world alongside somebody with profound multiple learning disabilities. It's a lovely thing.